WAFL. Half-time here, West Perth lead by a margin of 5 points. 10-6-66 to East Fremantle 9-7-61. Little Leaguers have had their run around the field. Umpires arriving back in the middle of the ground. Umpires Trevor Garrett and Ron Byers. A very interesting first half of football here, Ken Casillas.
Indeed, Trevor, and it was a remarkable turnabout because at certain periods of the first quarter, one got the feeling that East Fremantle were going to run away with the game, and yet West Perth showed great spirit to come back and wrest the control right away from East Fremantle in the second quarter, and they could go on with the job from here on in.
Well, West Perth coming onto the ground. There's the stats from the first half, and as you mentioned, Higgins was the man that got West Perth going, and Mifka on that wing.
Yes, down the left flank in the second quarter. In the second quarter, we had Mifka. He had 7 kicks. So at half-time, Nathan Higgins is the leading kick getter on the field with 11. He had 4 in the first quarter, 7 in the second quarter. And Paul Mifka, he had 3 kicks in the first quarter and 7 in the second quarter. And they were both dynamic players in the second term for West Perth. Hammond, a good solid first half. Ruck roving for East Fremantle. 6 kicks in the first quarter, 4 in the second. Webber, a bit quieter on a wing in the second quarter for East Fremantle. He had 8 kicks in the first and 2 ineffective kicks in the second quarter. John Lawrence playing in a half-forward flank for East Fremantle. 6 kicks in the first quarter, 4 in the second, for a total of 10 at half-time. And Brad Reid, a good, strong centre-half back with 6 marks and 9 kicks. He's had a good duel with Derek Hall, who's had 3 marks and 6 kicks. There's the East Fremantle side out on the field for the second half, and I'm sure Coach Ron Wilcox has spoken some harsh words to them at half-time, Trevor. And other good players in the first half, we had Kirst in the centre for West Perth, playing on Small Ridge. Both Kirst and Small Ridge opposed to each other in the centre, and they've got the identical figures with 8 kicks, 1 mark and 1 effective hand pass each. Bill Cracker, another good performance. He played very well last week down at East Fremantle Oval against Perth. He's had 8 kicks and 3 effective hand passes. Browning at centre-half forward for East Fremantle 7, Turley 7, and Hall, as I mentioned, at centre-half forward for West Perth, having a very good duel with Brad Reid.
Statistics from Ken Casillas. What about some of your best players to half-time, Keith?
Yes, well, it was more or less played in 2 quarters, wasn't it, with West Perth having a lot of players down on form in the first quarter, but those players bouncing back in the second quarter, and it showed on the scoreboard. But I thought I thought Billy Cracker was possibly their best player. He only had about 8 kicks, but I thought he was in the pack getting the ball out and did a lot of hard work for East Fremantle. I thought that Browning was a good contributor in the forward line. I've seen him play better, but he was a good, solid contributor, giving 100% all the time. I thought Robert Sabanovic in the ruck was an effective player. He had a few bounces that went his way, but I thought he made the best of them. Lawrence, I thought, was a good player, a very classy left footer. Hammond, a ruck rover, a good player. Reid at centre-half back, another good player for East Fremantle. West Perth, none better than Nathan Higgins. It's the best game I've seen him play, and he really was a live wire, had a string on the ball in that quarter.
Well, Keith, let's just have a look at one of the goals that Higgins kicked in that second term. This is Damon. Good shepherding, and Damon running through the middle of the ground. 50-metre drop punt inside centre-half forward, some jostling. It comes to Higgins, who just guides it through, and certainly showing plenty of maturity. Malcolm Williams congratulating him there. Some of your other better West Perth players, Keith?
Yeah, well, I've mentioned Higgins. I thought Hall was a good contributor in the forward line. He's not all that tall, but he's a very good aerialist. And I thought, like Browning at the other end, he was a very good contributor. Now, Mifka came back into the game very strongly in that quarter, played an excellent quarter, got loose on his wing, used the ball well. Williams wasn't all that consistent, but still a good contributor for West Perth. Madaffrey, a good contributor. I thought Zempelis, he didn't have the best of the bounces. They were running against him in the centre, but I thought he made a good, strong contribution. And I thought Paul Hassler in that quarter, after a very ordinary first quarter, came back very strongly. And a feature of his play, of course, Trevor, is his magnificent kicking.
Well, one of the most spectacular goals, kicked by Paddy Madaffrey in the third term. Long kick to the square. That's Hall, the flyer. And Madaffrey over his shoulder. Well, back live here at Leederville Oval for the second half of this game. There's the centre bounce. Hazel and Lockyer on the ball. Riggs kicks it towards half forward. Deracourt and Turley there. Deracourt almost the mark. It's scrambled away towards Hall. He gets around Ryder, tackled high by Lockyer. And Hall at centre half forward for West Perth.
He moves a little bit like Gavin Howlett, but by Jove, he's got some ability, this young bloke. He'll give this a shake too.
Outside 50, 55 metres in fact. Good looking drop punt, won't quite reach. East Fremantle up, knocked away there into the pocket, wide of Deracourt. Lockyer was in the pack and so was Hammond. That's a boundary throw in at left full forward. No change in the score, 5 points in favour of the Falcons, and a minute and a half gone in this third quarter.
Zemplis being opposed by Lockyer. Lockyer winning front position. Comes straight down to Higgins, who was well tackled. Ellis slips the hand pass to Cracker, and EFrem will get out of trouble. That lands in no man's land. First to it was Higgins. That's Richard Higgins. He went without it. Chance now for Lawrence. Sends a raking hand pass out in front of Taylor. Taylor is at half forward for EFrem. He looks into the pocket. The target is Hodson. Used his body to try and keep Rapaccioli at bay, but in so doing wasn't able to get his own hands on the ball, and so we'll have a throw-in just inside EFrem's right half-forward flank.
Robert Zupanovic off the field, Hodson in a forward pocket, Lockyer in the ruck.
Zupanovic is in the goal square, I think, Keith.
Is he? Well, they're all on the field, all the big men.
Yes.
Yeah, you're quite right.
Hodson, beaten from behind by Rapaccioli. Lester Smith. Palm will get to this first. He got around Taylor well. Good hand pass to Hasler, who handles the ball cleanly this time. Good hand pass to Riggs. Riggs gets his kick in the nick of time, but it lands with Lockyer. He feigns the hand pass. Now he'll kick it long. It's come off the side of the boot and lands with an opponent. Hazel, was it, who's playing as a ruckman. O'Brien has it now. Oops, trouble for West Perth. Still trouble for West Perth, but
pace.
Riggs with blistering pace. A professional foot runner when he's not playing football. In fact, overran the ball. Williams, here's trouble also. Hasler didn't see Cracker coming, and that had to be holding the ball, surely. Good smother applied by Williams. That's something that he does do very well. Hasler still in strife. It's pretty tough in there. No one really too keen to bend down and pick it up, so Riggs socketed out towards Yaron. Yaron knocks it onto Mifka. Mifka to Williams. Williams gets a handle on it. Not a good hand pass, but Yaron will pick it up. Don't worry about that. Sorry, he didn't. He gets it towards the boundary line. Higgins' short pass has been marked by Riggs. Riggs goes square across the ground to Hasler. Hasler goes inside half forward. Chance here for West Perth. They have the numbers. Brilliantly taken by Turley. And loose at the top of the square. And the mark has been taken by Hall, I think it is.
Oh, experience paying off.
That was a clever kick by Turley.
It really was, well, and he's been taught now not the waste kicks, not the blaze away, to take time out to have a look. He did it magnificently.
West Perth lead by 5 points. Now it's 11. A good start to the third quarter by the Falcons. They're showing no signs of releasing the pressure they applied in that second term. That's 2 goals now to Hall.
And the full marks to Craig Turley. That's him taking the ball now. He could have blazed away, but he took time out to have a look. And there was Hall all by himself on the edge of the square. And that's where he should be. And he gave Turley the opportunity. Turley saw him. No doubt the call was on, but the kick was inch perfect. And that's the way goals are created. Had Turley blazed away, I suppose the percentage of kicking goals from that angle about 10%.
His game's improved as it's gone on too, Keith. Craig Turley.
Yes.
Hazel up, even Stevens, but he may have just got it down to Yaron, who was pulled off the kick. Kerr scrambles it forward, and Higgins can do no wrong. Off it goes to Hall. Higgins and Ryder get mixed up behind the play. Mudaffri, a slips catch. He wants to play on. He's now legged. He'll take a kick 25 to 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Well, it was like it was wound up. He just had to keep going.
Amaranti again.
Not much Amaranti could do then, though.
No.
Well, he had to try and drag him down,
That's
but
right.
That's twice he's applied trips. And, of course, there's an interesting article on trips during the week.
Mudaffri shooting for goal number 4. Chips and is very shallow with that kick. One behind. He's missed by a mile. West Perth 11-7. EFrem 9-7. 2 straight kicks the difference now. 5 minutes gone. Shane Ellis, the EFrem stalwart, to put it back into play. And he goes short and finds Hammond. Damon arriving on the mark. Oh, that's a silly bit of football. He tried to get it back to Ellis. Damon's tackled him now. They scramble it back towards Shane Ellis, who gets it to Cracker, and through the congestion, Deracourt. Now Lawrence. Lawrence gets around Williams, and EFrem out of trouble, but luck's a fortune. Back to the middle of the ground. Zupanovic couldn't trap it. Knocked on by Rankin. Into the path of Palm. Palm through the middle of the ground. Goes short to Turley. Turley thought about the hand pass. Now he goes for the foot pass for Williams. West Perth looked very good. There's a man on his own in the square, Zemplis. Williams makes his cardinal sin of turning his back on the play, although he should bring up a goal from there.
Well, again, David Palm started all that, but isn't Craig Turley starting to use the ball magnificently? And this is the experience of playing in Victorian football, Australian Football League, and just putting his game together that much better.
Kicks on its way. He's floated at goalward, but it's offline. No, it isn't. Gee, he's surprised himself. That didn't look like a goal from here, but it must have just gone the right side. Here's the bit of action through the middle.
Well, there's Palm. He started it all, threading the ball beautifully through the Turley. He sells the dummy. Around Deracourt he goes, and look at the use of the footy. Malcolm Williams making magnificent position. The ugliest looking kick you'll ever see at goal, but it snuck in.
You're right, Keith. Very, very narrow margin. Look where the goal umpire is. 3 goals the difference in favour of West Perth. 6 minutes gone in this third quarter.
So now the onus is on East Fremantle to get back into this game. They've been shaken. Cracker overran it, socket forward by Hammond, picked up by Taylor, who in turn gets it to Moyer, and Moyer kicks towards Zapanovic. He appeared to be pushed, not paid. West Perth allowed to come away with the ball. Damon has it in the full back line. Good hand pass further afield to Sadowski. Sadowski kicks up towards centre wing. Higgins at the back. Showed best judgment.
His judgment has been impeccable all day.
Good kick too, Turley, who has been highly prominent in this third quarter. From right half forward, Turley kicks in towards the pocket, and Riggs, who's really giving them the run around.
Not too much pace for them, Keith.
He kicks short. Curse. And with astute use of the football, West Perth have it in a scoring position, and the East Fremantle bench can well afford to look concerned.
Yep, and apart from a great desire by West Perth, their skill level is increased incredibly, and Craig Turley making every kick count now.
There goes the Curse kick at goal. They've got another one. They're really applying some pressure now, 13-7 to 9-7. So it's a decisive 4-goal break. And there you see Del Barello and Howland, the 2 interchange players on the bench for West Perth.
Graham Curse this time last year was playing centre for Burracoppin, the premiers in the Eastern Districts League. Now he's down here at Leederville Oval and kicking a goal for West Perth and stretching the lead. And where they lacked a bit of confidence early in the game, West Perth, it's all flowing for them now, and it's East Fremantle who are on the back foot.
Hazel's given them some lift in the ruck too. They've beaten that time by Lockyer. It's slapped to Hammond, who runs into Mifka. He's forced to dispose of it in a hurry. Good pass shown there by Taylor, but he didn't really want it. And the umpire said he threw it.
He certainly did.
Damon goes by hand. Hasler. O'Brien. On it goes here for Repacholi, or is it Hazel? Hazel it is. Left foot drop punch to the 50-metre line. Clears Rankin and Riggs, a pair of 4s. Rankin was bundled over by Johnny Riggs, but the umpire says throw it in.
We haven't seen much of him today, have we, David Rankin?
150 games today too.
2 kicks only at this stage, David Rankin.
Zempilas battling with Lockyer, experienced Lockyer. Hand passes knocked away by Moyer. Webber's cornered by Williams. Zempilas pulled off it by Moyer. They lock the ball up, and umpire Garrett will bounce it down just outside 50 for West Perth.
And the umpires are trying to let the game flow, and their exhibition today has been good. Good, sensible umpiring exhibition by both.
Lockyer's on the ball here for East Fremantle. Up against Zempilas. Nicely brought down to Michael Taylor by Lockyer. There's some run from Rankin. Ellis will run into trouble. He's got in the frame of Damon. He's holding the ball. The Sharks can do no right at the moment. And Shane Ellis and Wayne Damon are having a scratching match.
He picked the wrong bloke to try and run through.
Yeah, didn't he ever? And
he's not very tall, Damon, but I tell you what, he's pretty strong.
He's like one of those little houses out the back, Keith, isn't he? From the point of the square.
Desert.
It's not a good kick. It'll fall short. Riggs. Over the top was Moyer. This is Webber running it out of defence now for the Sharks, and finds Smallridge, who's been quiet.
Needs his left foot.
Smallridge from the half-back line puts the ball up towards centre wing. It's spoilt there by Higgins. It comes down to Damon. West Perth are running free all over the ground now. All players prominent. Paul missed the mark, but it came back to him. He was pulled off the kick. Chance for Turley. There's players loose on the outer side. That's the way the kick's gone. And the mark is taken out there by Curse, who reminds me, in terms of his build, Keith, of another farmer who made a pretty fair fist of playing in the centre, and that was Mark Bairstow.
Yep, and what are Craig Durley's stats looking like in effectiveness, Kenny?
Well, he's had 11 kicks, and of those 11 kicks, only 2 haven't gone to a teammate. As Graham Kirst kicks another goal, the 14th for West Perth, but it's missed. The crowd went wild in the stand here.
You want a rubber there, Ken?
Yes.
They celebrate funerals in this grandstand. Doesn't have to be a goal.
Steady.
There goes the kick, taken by Lockyer. Lockyer works the ball towards the outer side of the ground. Here's Ryder. EFrem starting to respond. They need to. Geez, run a long way. And is allowed to continue to run. Sadowski backed his judgment. Couldn't quite pick it up. Ran into Cracker. Now a chance for Reid, who appears to be playing on the forward line.
Centre-half forward.
Hand pass goes infield to Lawrence. They're disjointed at the moment. Taylor has it. Here's a chance. Hammond is loose. He has the mark. He'll go to Hobson. And he will have to shoot for goal for a long time, but gets his kick in and kicks the goal. They needed that, EFrem. It's greeted by a deathly hush. That's their 10th. They're 10-7. West Perth are 13-8. The scoreboard attendant is in fact credited to Swan Districts.
Why not? I'll tell you who's doing a power work for EFrem in this quarter is Lockyer. And as EFrem, he just gets his kick away in time, and that pressure coming from West Perth. The pressure wasn't there in the first quarter. It's there in this quarter. But big Andrew Lockyer is working like a Trojan in the ruck for EFrem, and it was he that got EFrem going on that occasion.
Swans will beat Perth today by the look of that. East Perth and Subi tied up, and South coming back at Claremont. Lockyer wins another tap. Weber shovels it out. Lawrence on it goes to Hammond. The Smallridge was good football. Smallridge is kicked towards the full forward line. Hodgson behind Rapaccioli. Knocked into the path of Reid and Palm. Oh, good work, David Palm. Houdini would be proud of the way he got out of that. And now Hasler around the corner for Turley. He's been brilliant so far in this third quarter. 20-metre hand pass for Mifka. Mifka confronted by Lockyer. Back it goes to Turley, who runs away from Weber. Weber tackles late. Pulls it around for Yaron. It's set up nicely, but he went without it. Allows Hammond in. Hammond with good vision finds Smallridge. He could go to Lockyer.
They're exposed at the back now.
He goes over the top. This is big Andrew Lockyer. Can kick. Lumbers to the 55-metre line. Was touched. Was meant for Lester Smith. Good pick up, Neil Lester Smith. Hand passes away from Richard Higgins. Back he comes. He gets around O'Brien. Kicks to a more central position and finds Cracker. 45 metres out. Directly in front. Cracker goes to Lawrence. And he marks 40 metres out on a slight angle.
Good steadying football by EFrem. Some good signs there for EFrem. Not panicking. The pressure being applied by West Perth, and I thought that was very well played by Neil Lester Smith.
That was Del Barello on the boundary.
Wasn't prepared to give the ball away, and sorted Cracker out very neatly indeed.
Yaron's been dragged, I suspect, as a result of that mistake.
Lawrence shoots on goal from 35 to 40 metres and puts it through.
It stemmed from that error by Yaron.
And he was taken off. Del Barello on. Another goal to the Sharks, a steadier for them, off the boot of Johnny Lawrence, who's now booted 2. And here's the bit of play again. Lester Smith figuring prominently.
Yep, and watch, he hangs onto the ball here. He's under siege from a lot of West Perth defenders, but he takes time out. He's having a good look now, and he sees what he wants to see, a loose man. 2 of them in the centre of the ground. Yaron takes the ball. He went from there. Cracker, I should say, takes the ball. He went to Lawrence. Very classy mover, isn't he, Lawrence?
86 plays 73. 13 points in favour of the Falcons. Well,
15 minutes gone in the third quarter. It's been a highly entertaining game throughout. Lockyer on the ball. This is Hammond. He kicks to the half-forward line. Lester Smith is in front. That was a brilliant pick-up. He's causing problems for O'Brien at the moment.
Oh, good
Taylor
tackle.
was run down from behind. Cracker knocks it across to Smallridge. Smallridge chips towards goal, but he's well and truly offline. But EFrem now starting to get some momentum in their game, Keith.
Isn't it noticeable the desperation in the West Perth defence now?
Higgins is in best place to mark. And away he goes, opposed to 2 opponents. Puts it down towards the centre wing position. Turley leads Moyer. The bounce of the ball will be important. It favours Turley. No, he couldn't quite keep it in. Or is it a free kick? It's a throw-in. Turley thought it was a free kick. He was hoping. Lockyer and Zemplis. Zemplis over the top. Comes back to Zemplis. Now Lawrence. Lawrence gets the hand pass wide to Moyer. Moyer from the defensive side of the centre line. Up to half forward and Lester Smith. He's claimed from behind by O'Brien and will have a throw in at left half forward.
Is Clinton Browning on the field? I've got a feeling that he's off and Reid's centre half forward.
Yeah, Browning's at centre half back.
Is he? Yeah, I couldn't find him. He's sort of disappeared out of the game, hasn't he?
Zapanovic takes clean possession. Hand pass was intended for Lester Smith. He picked it up just inside the line, and with a bit of luck it'll roll out. Bit of luck for EFrem, I mean. So they gained about 30 metres with that kick. Throw in on their 50-metre line. That's the situation at Leederville Oval, midway through the third quarter. Sadowski forced to do the ruck work, beaten easily by Zapanovic. Lester Smith was held when he didn't have it. He came back tigerishly, hooks towards the goal square, but Repiccioli is able to get his legs to the bounce of the ball, and there'll be a throw-in alongside EFrem's left hand behind post.
Very vital, about 10-15 minutes to be played in this quarter, because EFrem are trying to steady and come back.
Zapanovic and Sadowski. Chance for WPerth to take it away. Good tackle applied again by Cracker, this time on O'Brien.
The feature of his game has been his tackling today, Cracker.
Reid. High kick from Deracourt. Hodson is in the square. Big leap from behind. I think it was from Hazel. And now WPerth break it up. Sadowski goes wide to Curse. Curse over the top. Almost to no man's land. Knocked forward by Taylor. Mifka is in there, tentatively.
Very.
Socket on by Curse. Williams missed his attempt to get it further afield. Hasler goes looking for the boundary line. Throw in at right half forward for EFrem. WPerth under pressure at the moment. The tide of the game just seems to be turning a little. They still lead 13-8 to 11-7. EFrem making their challenge. One feels that if WPerth can withstand this challenge, then they're in a good position to go on and win the game. There goes the kick from Hasler over the half-forward line. Browning across the top, punches it 25 metres clear over the boundary line.
Would have knocked you out well.
Yeah, I reckon this next goal is absolutely vital. In fact, if WPerth kick the next goal, then I reckon they're in a very good position to win this game.
EFrem will certainly have mustered a good challenge. Lockyer and Zemplis. Lockyer over the back, but Williams sharked it. Paddles it for Riggs, close to the boundary. Ryder intercepting. Throws his body around a lot. Doesn't get a lot of kicks, Rivers Ryder. But effective on that occasion. It's out of bounds. 45 metres around from the Falcons' goal. Almost in the left full forward pocket. Hazel, Zemplis over the top. Big fist back to the boundary. Didn't gain anything.
Well, he's got to bring it over the back, Zemplis.
Yeah.
And we saw in just the previous throw-in that Andrew Lockyer took a very big risk in pulling the ball back into the middle of the ground. Of course, if an opposition player gets that, he's got a straight-potted goal.
Hazel Zemplis again will come from behind. No, he won't. Hazel and Lockyer. Comes down to Turley. He gets through the congestion. Hooks across his body back towards the square. Browning. Good anticipation. Drives it back towards the middle of the ground. Higgins will fly. He can do no wrong today.
Just on ground.
And across the ground it goes. WPerth in command here through Curse. Curse goes short, puts it out in front of Hall. Oh, it beats him. Browning arrives now to put pressure on. Madaffrey with support. Good tackle put on Browning by Browning on Hall. And now it's a boundary throw in the right full forward pocket.
I thought he was carried forward then by Browning. Could easily have given away the free kick. It's a difficult one for a tackler, but he's got to hold the player up. If he takes him forward, then it's got to be a free kick.
Still 13 points in favour of the Falcons. Hazel down to Riggs. Riggs only as far now as Hall. He's dispossessed. Riggs to Hazel. Hazel slaps it away to Rankin. Rankin found some room and gave it to Smallridge. Over the top to Lawrence. Hammond with the backup, and so is Smallridge. He's in trouble now, though. Tackled by Hazel. Got his kick in, and Hammond has taken a mark. Only just the distance.
Cool customer, Smallridge.
EFrem will try to come through the centre of the ground. Weber has been awarded the free kick. Palm collided with him.
Very lucky.
Yes, they were both on the same collision course. This is Lawrence.
He's been a star.
Lawrence from left half forward kicks the ball in towards the pocket. Reid is the target. And he's going to be awarded the free kick, if not the mark. I think it was the mark.
Well, the boundary umpire would never know whether it was out of bounds or not. He was coming past the Coca-Cola stand.
Umpire Baines just checking the angle. We saw some good goals kicked from this position in the first quarter. They were from better kicks than that. Cracker almost took the mark at the back of the pack.
Should have taken it.
With a chance to take it away. This is Mifka. Has a look to see who's in pursuit. And he would be a little off put by the fact that it was Will Cracker. Turley not quite able to pull it in. Ryder has possession. Good shepherd provided by Weber. Now Moyer. He was off. No.
Still behind the mark.
Kicks to centre half forward. Good kick. Zapanovic should have marked that. It was a floater, but he was the only player there. Hasler got it to Mifka, who in turn gets it to Riggs.
Made a good quarter, Riggs.
Riggs going for distance, didn't quite get onto it. Browning misjudged it, recovers well. He's looking for the boundary line.
Oh, he's manhandling.
Hall.
Very lucky not to give away the quick kick. He definitely manhandles from behind Clinton Browning.
Hall did well to get to the front, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Boundary throw-in right in front of our commentary position and our camera position, as you can see. Lockyer did well. And away go East Fremantle. Smallridge has it. He hooks the ball down to the half-forward line. Cracker is in front. Palm comes over the top. This is Hasler. Back it goes towards West Perth's half-forward line. Turley and Webber. Now Moyer at ground level. Good tackle applied by Turley. Allows Riggs to run onto it. That set Williams up. With him is Ryder. Williams, very clever. Misread where Turley was. The hurly-burly of it all, it's confusing me.
Hurley and Burley.
Rankin gets
Burley.
it to Smallridge.
Kicks to Burley.
And Curley.
Smallridge to centre half forward. Now Lawrence.
Oh, dear.
Lester Smith couldn't pick it up. Sadowski did. O'Brien has it. Good kick. Cool. Zemplis.
Now he's the nice long kick into the open spaces in that he wants to get it deep into attack.
They need something to break it up. He's gone relatively short. It's effective. It's found Riggs, but perhaps they would have been better off right down the centre of the ground. That's where Riggs is going to go. Now it's in a scoring position. If there's someone that can take the mark, Ellis took it. Oops, don't know about that. Not Curse, the East Fremantle player was on all fours almost. Hammond it was. Smallridge with a hurried kick, knocked on by Taylor, but straight to two West Perth players. Hasler still having trouble picking it up. Tried to squeeze his way through where there was little room. Got it to Zemplis, who put it out on the full.
Tell you what, it's a magnificent quarter of football. Well, the pressure is absolutely superb from both sides now.
East Fremantle have thrown out a very strong challenge, and West Perth so far have held them. They still lead by 13 points. But East Fremantle are relentless, and they won't give this away too easily. Smallridge to the middle of the ground for Reid. Higgins hasn't had a good day. That's Richard Higgins. Lawrence gives it away to Lockyer, who's had a good quarter. Into the pocket for Zupanovic. Sadowski after him. Hodgson arriving. This is Zupanovic. A defensive hand pass to Cracker.
Nothing on.
Cracker hooks across his body to the top of the square, and Damon. Safe as a church. They can run this out of defence easily. Hasler's had a good quarter, Ken Casillas.
Yes, he has. He's had 5 kicks and 5 hand passes already this quarter, and another effective kick for Paul Hasler.
Zemplis gets around Smallridge, kicks to half forward. Riggs and Rankin. Riggs the first to arrive. Webber goes straight through him. Turley over the top of him. And that's a boundary throwing. Gee, it's a good game of football.
Great game of football, and well umpired too.
Yes, it has, Keith. Here it is again. Riggs and Webber just missed him. Zemplis use of the body on Lockyer. Unfairly, says the umpire.
Yeah, one playing the ball, one playing the man, and umpire Jarrett right on the spot.
Lockyer this quarter, Ken.
Lockyer this quarter, 5 kicks, 7 effective ruck knockouts and 3 effective hand passes.
Big quarter.
Two East Fremantle players spoiling one another. That gives West Perth the chance. It's Damon, who tries to break through the half-forward line. Puts Zemplis under enormous pressure, and as a result, Taylor breaks it up for East Fremantle. He finds Smallridge. The hand pass goes further afield towards Reid. It's close to the boundary line. Reid keeps it in. Smallridge is
too high.
Tackle.
Too high.
He was set up. Smallridge was really set up. He could have been taken out with a hip and shoulder, or he could have been claimed with a good tackle, and Sadowski pulled his head off. Back towards the goal square it goes. East Fremantle searching for this goal, but still, no, it doesn't elude them. Hodgson, no.
Hit the post.
The goal umpire is indicating that it hit the post and is out of bounds.
Quick picking by Hodgson.
On the full, it bounced. I'm sure that ball bounced. I think the two umpires have got a little confused here. They're awarding West Perth a free kick.
The ball definitely bounced before it hit the post.
That's my recollection of it. But the mark now is with Richard Higgins, West Perth centre half back. West Perth standing up stoutly to this assault being labelled by East Fremantle. Lockyer called to play on. This is Ryder. Ryder drives back towards full forward. Lester Smith is in front. Spoiled from behind. It's now Reid who's pulled off it. Lester Smith has it from 40 metres. No one in the square. And he's missed. The ball broke the wrong way.
Look at the kids on the ground behind the goals. There's a fight on here. Lester Smith and Palm. But a child has been bowled over behind the goals.
Ron Baynes is right on the spot.
Unbelievable, that situation again.
Two 18s there, Lester Smith and Palm. The score is 13-8 to 11-8. The margin is 12 points, and we're now at the time-on point of the third quarter. This has been an outstanding game. East Fremantle dominating the first quarter, West Perth the second, and they've gone through this third quarter neck and neck.
During the week, Riggs is off the ground. We spoke to the league, and they said that would not happen, that children would be on the ground behind the goals, and it's happened again here today, and that was very nearly a nasty accident with a young child of about 10 or 11 there bowled over behind the goals. A very serious situation will develop if they do not police it properly. Zemplis into the back there of Taylor. He'll take the free kick for East Fremantle. It's been a very good game of football. That's good vision to Lockyer. Attacking side of the square. Good looking drop punt. Lester Smith will fly. Almost the mark. Crumbs come to O'Brien. West Perth look good in defence now, Keith.
Yes, they do.
O'Brien with good run in his legs. Kicks towards half forward. Delbarello. Almost the mark. Pressured by Rankin. He got his boot to it. This is Mifka. Intercepting was Webber. And Delbarello can't keep it in play. Out of bounds at left half forward. 86 to 74. 12 points the margin. 25 minutes gone in one of the most fiercest third quarters of football we've seen this season. Good physical pressure here from both sides. That's a bounce down. Umpire Garrett separating the players at ground level. That's Howard on the ground, Keith, number 33.
Last year's first semi-final replay, Trev. Might be another draw.
Lockyer, he's won a lot of taps. Taylor to Hammond. Hammond had a look. Small Ridge. Lifter's got pace. Couldn't run him down. Intercepting the kick was Williams. That's a toe poke. Hazel. Tried to be too fancy. Now Hasler's got work to do. Small Ridge the tackler. Back comes Hazel to Mifka. Well done to Hasler. He's got plenty of space. He kicks towards full forward. In front Hall, but knocked away by Browning. Out of bounds in the left full forward pocket.
How long since we've had a goal, Ken? There's been a lot of play, and West Perth have been leading by 13, 14 points for a long time.
15-minute mark was the last goal in this quarter.
Only 5 kicked in the entire quarter. 5 in total. Lockyer is there again. He's just a little bit too strong for Zemplis. A hand pass from Lockyer relieves the pressure. It lands with Moyer. Moyer goes into the centre of the ground. Reid needs to take the mark. There's the siren. That's the end of a great third quarter from both teams. That was an outstanding quarter of football, and I'm just trying to see who that player is. It's Reid, who's down in the centre of the ground. And at three-quarter time, West Perth lead East Fremantle by 2 straight goals, 13-8 to 11-8. The goal scorers so far for East Fremantle, 2 each to Browning, Lawrence and Lamb, and singles to Cracker, Lester Smith, Lockyer, Taylor and Hodson. The goal scorers for West Perth, 3 to Higgins and 3 to Madaffrey, 2 each to Williams and Hall, and 1 each to Zemplis, Curse and Yaron.
Swan Districts leading Perth by a big margin. Subiaco have gone ahead of East Perth now, but it's a tight game, and also very tight at Fremantle Oval. Claremont by 4 points over what looks to be on paper a much improved South Fremantle side today.
Pretty good round of footy, Trev.
It is a good round, Walt.
With the exception of one game.
Yeah, Swan Districts, and that looked obvious, didn't it, that they would be too good for Perth.
And there's no excuse for Perth being in that situation. They've got better players than that.
Well, you can't believe it, really. You didn't see the game, Perth and Subiaco, and then Perth and East Perth. We had them 2 weeks in a row, and gee, they looked, they showed some promise, but it hasn't eventuated. Tom Malulli's got big problems.
Well, I looked at that lineup today, and they've got some good players in that side, particularly for a team in this the standard of this competition.
Anyway, perhaps they can improve as the season goes on, but at the moment they find themselves in hot water against Swan Districts. George McCulloch laying down the law, Keith. And I think he'd be pretty pleased with that third term into what breeze there is.
He would be delighted because they held East Fremantle. Now, East Fremantle, a very good side. They won 4 games going into this game, and they know about winning games of footy. They know about pressure, and they applied full pressure on West Perth when West Perth looked like getting away from them. But West Perth were magnificently served early in the quarter by a couple of players, especially Craig Turley, who started to really pick up the bit, and he played superbly. And a feature of his game was his magnificent disposal, which were resulting in goals. And he was running amok midfield. I thought Graham Curse in the middle of the ground came into the game very strongly, and that was another reason why West Perth were able to be so effective in the early part. And Palm started to improve in the back line. In fact, the whole West Perth defence improved out of sight from the first quarter. There was desperation there. Palm was starting to find his feet. O'Brien was becoming a good player, and all of a sudden that West Perth defence had locked up very tight. And in fact, they locked up so tight that when East Fremantle applied their enormous pressure in the last 10 minutes of the quarter, they couldn't kick a goal. They should have kicked one through Lester Smith. He missed, but that was really about the only opportunity they had to kick a goal, and that was great credit to the West Perth defence. For East Fremantle, I thought that Andrew Lockyer played an absolutely superb quarter. If it hadn't have been for Andrew Lockyer's dominance of the ruck and his ability to gain kicks midfield, then I think that West Perth would have run away with the game. But he sensed the urgency. He threw himself into the play. I thought he played magnificently. He's well supported by Cracker, who's most likely been East Fremantle's best player over 3 quarters today. And those two players absolutely superb. Lawrence is a very classy little player, but that an outstanding quarter of football. West Perth kicked 3 goals 2, and East Fremantle kicked 2 goals 1. So an outstanding quarter of football, of defensive football, tough, everything you could wish in the game. Good marks, beautiful disposal, but only 5 goals for the quarter, and that gives you some idea, Trev, of the pressure that was applied by both sides.
You've been impressed with Malcolm Williams this game?
Yes, he's a type of player that flashes in and out. He's not a real consistent player, but he has that mercurial streak in him where he can do the most unusual thing at the very crucial stage of the game. But it'll be very interesting to look at best players at the end of the day. And that's Lawrence. Now, I'm very impressed with him. He's a very classy left footer. I like what he does. He's been a very consistent performer today. He's used the ball well, and that's the man that has really knitted everything up for West Perth. He made a very ordinary start to the game, and this is the other guy, Craig Turley. What a quarter he played. He started off in absolutely superb fashion, and that was one of the passes that went into the forward line and set up goals for West Perth. But really an outstanding quarter of football. I doubt that I've seen a better quarter of football than that this year.
Those thoughts from Keith Slater here at Leederville Oval. 12 points the difference at 3/4 time. After enjoying our telecast live on ABC television this afternoon. It's been a busy week, with the replay of the FA Cup final keeping us up late, and the match last night from Melbourne finishing at 2:30 in the morning. So we've had some sleepless nights.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I was busy watching the Breakers win their first game of the year, Trev. But there's been plenty of sport on. Yes, and they've got a very exciting young lady who's just arrived from America. This Latia Hewley. If you want to see a lady play sport, go and have a look at Latia Hewley play basketball.
Well, Ken Casillas never played basketball, but he's certainly very good with the stats. Who have been the leading possession getters, Ken?
Thanks, Trevor. Well, strangely, an East Fremantle player is the leading kick getter on the field at this stage, and that's Gary Smallridge in the centre. He's had 18 kicks and 4 hand passes. He had 10 kicks in the third quarter, but Graham Curse, his opponent, also had 5 kicks in the centre on the third quarter. Nathan Higgins for West Perth, 8 marks and 15 kicks. Craig Turley for West Perth, 7 marks and 13 kicks. He had 6 kicks in that quarter. Andrew Lockyer had 6 kicks in that quarter for a tally of 9. He also made 9 effective ruck knockouts, and he's made 6 effective hand passes. Darren Hammonds had 14 kicks for East Fremantle playing on the ball. John Riggs, 5 marks and 9 kicks for West Perth. Damon's had 7 kicks. Weber on his wings had 13. Paul Mifka for West Perth on his wings had 13 with 6 effective hand passes. John Lawrence playing on a half-forward flank for East Fremantle, 3 marks, 13 kicks and 7 effective hand passes. And Bill Cracker, 2 marks, 11 kicks and 4 effective hand passes. Brad Reid now playing at centre half-forward, what he did in the third quarter for East Fremantle, 8 marks, 10 kicks, 5 effective hand passes. The free kicks, Trevor, at 3/4 time. West Perth 16, East Fremantle 17.
Thanks a lot, Ken Casillas. So West Perth turned for home here at Leederville Oval, leading by 12 points. And of course, don't forget tomorrow on ABC Radio, the match between the West Coast and the Brisbane Bears, starting at 12:10 on 726 WF and radio statewide.
I suppose a player we missed in that quarter that I didn't mention who played very well was Riggs. Hadn't been prominent in the first half, but they played an outstanding third quarter.
So umpire Trevor Garrett to get this last quarter underway. Hodgson and Zemplis go at it. Hodgson wins a clean tap. Damon in the way for West Perth. Through the congestion, Went looking back for Zemplis. It's brought away by Curse. He kicks the ball to the 50-metre line. Madaffrey and Amaranti. Turley pushed in the back. Crumbs come to Madaffrey. He's inside now, half forward. runs into the forward pocket. A shot on goal by Madaffri. He's put it through the eye of a needle. A great start to the final term. Paddy Madaffri now has booted 4 goals, and West Perth move along to 14 goals 8. They lead East Fremantle 11 goals 8 by 18 points.
Well, Paddy Madaffri really is a sharp shooter. He's missed a few goals today. That's Turley pushing the ball forward. That's Madaffri. You can see how close he is to the boundary line. Amirante hasn't had a good day, and all he can do is run along behind and watch that one go through. And that's exactly the start that George McKelsick would have been calling for. He would have been saying to West Perth at 3/4 time, if you kick that first goal, you're home and hose, fellas, and they've done that.
Well, we've seen some good goals here this afternoon, but Madaffri's got a mortgage on the goal of the day. If you didn't like that one, you should have seen his snap earlier in the game. Chance now for West Perth to take it forward again. East Fremantle need to respond here. They trail by 3 goals. This is Hodgson with the chance. He drives them to the half-forward line. Moyer unattended. Well, he wasn't unattended. Palm lost his footing at the crucial moment, and Moyer took an uncontested mark. It goes down towards the goal square, and the mark has been taken for East Fremantle by Reid. So this should be a very quick response by East Fremantle. They need it. Yes, just as the siren sounded, he was flat on his face in the centre of the ground. He started the game in defence, and here he is shooting for goal, a goal that his team needs badly. He's got it. So we're back to the situation that we had at 3/4 time. It's 14-8 to 12-8. The margin is 2 goals. 2nd versus 7th on the ladder, and at the moment 7th placed West Perth lead East Fremantle.
And there's Moyer from East Fremantle taking the mark. Now, they've got to get the answering goal, and they've got to get it quickly. He knows that, so he uses a very direct style of play, goes deep into the forward pocket, and Reid, who started at centre-half back, now at full forward after a stint at centre-half forward in the 3rd quarter, has taken the mark, kicked the goal, and versatility, very handy for coaches in league football.
You saw the scoreline. Browning still at centre-half back for the Sharks too, playing on Hall of West Perth. Zempilas and Hodgson. Zempilas a big thump. Coming to meet at Derek Hall, but it bounced away from him. This is Ryder, tackled by Williams. Williams with good speed, got his way to the front. Now he's got clean possession, this way, that away. Now Ryder over the top of him, and he felt that. He's going to get the free kick. Ryder and Williams have exchanging words. Let's watch it again, Keith.
Yeah, I didn't see much in that. In fact, very little in that. It might have been a little tickle across the face, but he made it look good.
Hasler in the middle of the ground. Flower bag punt, and it lands with Hodgson. Oh, he played on. Well, got away with it. Hodgson goes to the outer. Mifka, Cracker. At the back will be Mifka. Tackled well by Cracker, but he spun out of it nicely. Now the kick to the 50-metre line, but Browning's in front of Hall and pulls down a safe mark. Sweeping hand pass to accommodate Rankin. There's the kick to half forward. Webber and Mifka. It eludes all players. Now O'Brien in trouble. Forced a hand pass away only as far as Ellis. Neil Lester Smith, rather. He kicks towards the pocket. Sadowski. O'Brien. Back to the wing. Lester Smith. He's there for East Fremantle. We've got a fickle bounce and a crude tackle from Williams. This allows Howlett to break away.
Have a look at this.
And finds Higgins. Higgins plays on quickly. That's a good pass for Madaffri. Oh, Derek Court arrived late. In 50 metres.
Good response from the umpire. It was immediate.
Paddy Madaffri shakes his head.
Well, you'd have to be impressed with Ron Bain's performance today with the whistle. He hasn't missed a trick, has he?
Keith, you've advocated for so many years that good players have a think about umpiring when their day is done. And here's evidence of a good player coming out as a good umpire.
Yeah, he's really read it well today, Ron Baines. Only umpired a few games, but gee, there's been a lot of common sense in his play. Zempilas is coming off limping, and that's not good news, but a young player who's pulled his weight here today for West Perth, and he's being replaced by John Riggs, so he wasn't off the ground for all that long. And West Perth about to kick another goal.
Madaffri for 5. Makes no mistake from point-blank range. West Perth again moved to 98. That's 18 points in front. 98 plays 80. 5 goals to Paddy Madaffri. There's the kick from Higgins, Keith, and let's watch the incident again.
Oh, glorious. In fact, the Deracourt was the man who was chatted, but he wasn't the infringer, really. It was whoever that was coming the other way. And right. I'm not sure who it was, but
you did right.
He was the man that took Madaffri around the head.
I think that was Deracourt.
he was coming from behind.
From behind.
Oh, right.
There was a player coming in from the side who was hard to pick up who that was. Might have been Amarante, was it?
The break now is 18 points, and that's going to make East Fremantle's task a tough one, because West Perth realise now that they can play to win.
They will
There's
be back.
a preview.
East Fremantle will come back.
That was the situation at three-quarter time. That list can change. Chance now for East Fremantle to go forward, but they're just being outmanoeuvred, outmuscled. Damon in there somehow or other got to the bottom of that pack, and he tied it up for West Perth.
See, haven't some of their players lifted since quarter time? Some players we mentioned were way down on form. Well, they've been in and out of form all in the same game.
Hazel doing the ruck work for West Perth. He was opposed by Hodson. Smallridge hooks the ball to the half-forward line. It bounces over Buss's head, and in turn over Reed's head. Sadowski with a hand pass to Palm. Oh, he almost turned straight into the Reed. He did, in fact, turn into Lester Smith. O'Brien can clear it across the face of the ground. Hasler has it. Not a lot happening up in front. He opts to hand pass, and away go West Perth again. The clearing kick from Howlett goes to the outer side of the ground. Converging on it is Webber. He was brilliantly tackled. He could easily have been penalised. Play allowed to go on. Vifka gets it infield to Curse. Curse goes back towards the goal square. Madaffrey! Oh, sport in the nick of time. East Fremantle get it across the goal line. Gee, that was good defensive work there by East Fremantle, because Madaffrey had slipped into the front position and seemed to have a mortgage on that mark.
And didn't Webber give that ball away far too easily on that outer flank?
The kick in from Browning has found Ellis. East Fremantle need a goal. They're doing a lot of work for no return at the moment. Moyer is in all sorts of strife, as are East Fremantle. Deracourt gets it back towards a teammate, Moyer, who was under pressure. Rankin gets it to Lawrence. Lawrence very quickly got it further afield to Hammond. Hammond gets a socket kick in. Wasn't a good one. It's in turn with Hammond again, but the umpire's whistle is gone, and umpire Garrett rules that that player Higgins was carried forward in the tackle.
He was, but it appeared as though the umpires were letting the game flow.
Higgins to half forward. Haul up. Williams was in the pack. Damon at the back. Turley, the boundary rider, got a high tackle. He's caught holding the ball.
No, he got a high tackle.
High tackle first. He played the first decision. He squares it up for Williams. Right centre wing for West Perth. He goes across the ground even further.
That's okay. He's got a paddock.
For Palm. Palm chips it over the top for Mithka. Well, that's the old Subiaco style of play. Mithka drives into the forward pocket for Hall. Couldn't do it one-handed. Hodson's with him. He runs into Amarante, and the umpire says,
"Oh, what's going on there?"
Holding the ball.
The ball not out of bounds.
This is danger too. Intercepting there was Mithka. Comes back towards Ellis. Spills to Webber. Webber got his boot to it only as far as Riggs. Toe pokes it through the traffic. Howlett, a snapshot from 35 metres is a beauty. No, it isn't. One behind only. West Perth are 15-10. East Fremantle 12 goals 8. We've played 9 minutes in this last term.
Great
20
points
football.
The difference.
Great
pressure football from West Perth.
Dangerous kick in by Ryder. Damon was able to spoil Lawrence. The ball ricochets out of play. Damon has done superbly since quarter time. Boundary throw in just outside West Perth's 50-metre line. Repacholi is there, outmanoeuvred by Hodson. Taylor gets the hand pass. Deracourt wasn't a good one. Turley swoops on it. East Fremantle, I feel, are just not going anywhere as Madaffrey pulls in the mark. He's really given Amarante something to think about this afternoon. And now Madaffrey, who has kicked 5 already, will shoot for his 6th. And a goal here would make East Fremantle's task very difficult indeed. He's pulled it.
What I can't work out here, Wal, is that after a magnificent third quarter, Andrew Lockyer, who dominated the ruck, is cooling his heels at centre-half forward. When you're having a big day like he was having, even though you've rucked for a whole quarter, surely you don't take a player out of the game.
We're 9 minutes into the final quarter as Rankin clears for East Fremantle. He'll find Browning on centre wing. Browning realises the urgency of the situation. EFrem will need a goal. The kick had penetration, but it landed with Hasler.
Didn't Hasler anticipate beautifully?
Hasler goes out wide. Target is Mifka. Couldn't hold the mark, but O'Brien's got the crumbs. And he's got the speed. Plenty of run in his legs still. He drives towards full forward. Williams is there. Hodgson over the top. Crumbs to Williams. Snapshot, no pressure. From 30 metres out. Won't come back enough. One behind only.
They've had some chances to nail them, Keith.
Yeah, they certainly have. And they're applying the better pressure, and they're winning the hard balls. Now, in the first quarter, I think we said EFrem were winning all the hard balls. Not the case. West Perth are winning them now.
22 points the margin, as you saw. This is meant for Browning. With him Hall, almost beat him for the ball, but good recovery from Clint Browning. He drives back to centre wing. O'Brien and Cracker. No mark taken. Mifka's there for West Perth. Tackled by Cracker. Hasn't got the football yet. So Mifka paddles to the boundary when Webber came in to assist. It came back to Webber.
Oh!
And he gave it away to Curse, who drives into the pocket and finds Hall.
Well, Robbie Webber twice in this quarter has given the ball away far too easily. And you're taught that in league football. You don't give it away unless you're certain where it's going.
Derek Hall, who's booted 2 goals today, will shoot from just on 50 metres. Drop punt will fall short. No, it won't. It's offline. And one behind only. Not a good kick.
And, of course, Robbie Webber out there has got to realise the value of that boundary line when he's under pressure.
This is Derek Hall. 23 points to margin. Favour of West Perth. Damon will go up and take the mark. Smallridge arriving late, number 17.
Well, I don't know who Derek Hall was going for there. He had 2 of the smallest guys on the field kicking out to.
Wait. Here it is again.
Yeah, holding his ground, never took his eye off the ball. He knew it was his all the way.
Played a great game. Tough, relentless trier. Hall at the back, no mark taken. Madaffrey ran into a traffic jam. Derek Hall's there, and the umpire coming in to bounce it down right on the top of the square. You can see the marking of the goal square.
Well, I tell you what, they're getting nice and cold up in the forward line for EFrem. Lockyer and Reid have now changed. Lockyer's gone down to full forward.
No, he's going onto the ball, I think.
Well, he should be on the ball.
Well, EFrem will force it through Derek Hall, pushing it through for a behind. It's now 24 points the margin, so a handy behind there to West Perth.
He's their big chance of winning. He's their big chance of winning, Andrew Lockyer. They've got to get him into the game because he's in good form.
12 minutes into the final quarter. Browning with a spiral punt. It's a beauty. It'll land in the square. Lockyer up and took an immediate mark. It comes to Hobson to centre half forward. Knocked away from Reid, but it lands with Taylor. Taylor gets onto that left foot, puts it out in front of Billy Cracker. Cracker has a look to see who's pursuing. The ball just won't sit for him. Refacholi it was, Bill. And we'll have a throw in at left half forward.
They look a little tired to me, EFrem. They're taking a long time to get rid of that ball.
Throwing it left half forward for EFrem. Chance now for Curse to clear. It'll land in vacant territory on centre wing. It bounces infield to accommodate Taylor. He went the wrong way. This is Moyer. Moyer across the top. Hand pass to Lockyer now. He will let go with a boomer, I would imagine. And it's now well within scoring distance at the top of the square. The ball eluded Bus, but he'll be first back to it. He had to go off the ground earlier after a heavy knock. There goes the snap at goal from Webber. Well and truly offline. It's out of play on the full. This is the first sortie into the full forward area that EFrem have made for some time. There's Yaron and Zemplis waiting to come back on for West Perth. There's going to be a dual change as West Perth try to run the ball out of defence. Mifka kicks back towards centre wing. West Perth outnumber EFrem 2-1, but EFrem will come from both directions, or from all directions, as Reid goes down, and we'll have a throw in midway between right centre wing and right half forward. There's the situation at the other ground. Swans have got control of Perth. Subi lead East Perth, and South Fremantle and Claremont are locked in a beauty at Fremantle Oval. As EFrem go forward, Smallridge kicks them towards the top of the square. Hodgson is there. Now Lester Smith. He scooped it back when he could easily have broken away. Refacholi takes the pressure off. Back to the half-forward line, but the mark is taken by Reid. He's been in trouble since three-quarter time. Chance now for EFrem as the kick goes to centre half-forward. It's knocked ahead of the play. Rankin will get to it first. Did that cleverly, hit it behind his back. Then was brilliantly tackled by Damon. Some of the tackling in this game has been outstanding. And there's another tackle that's been rewarded.
Tackling of Damon today and Palm has been outstanding as Williams goes right across the ground, finds a teammate in Mifka. He chips a pass for Hazel. Hazel's 20 metres in the clear. He chips into the pocket for Derek Hall. It's a bit wide for him, though, and that's a boundary throw in the full forward pocket.
Poor kick, Trevor. Hall was 20 metres clear.
Should have hooked it infield.
Yes, I would have preferred to see him go for home. Very direct piece of play.
West Perth in the box seat here. They're at Leederville Oval to win this match and cause an upset. That's tied up in the forward pocket. Umpire Garrett coming in to bounce it down.
Well, I'm not sure that EFrem have got the legs to get back into it. They've had a couple of opportunities, but their players just don't seem to have much petrol left in the tank for mine.
4 goals they trail by. Lockyer and Hazel. Taylor paddles for the boundary.
Well, I reckon they made a tactical error. The coach, Ron Wilcox, a tactical error taking Lockyer off the ball, and they paid a very severe penalty for mine in this quarter.
Hazel and Lockyer. Lockyer brings it to the back. That's good tap. Amirante comes away for the Sharks. Into the middle of the ground. Zempelis back on. At the back, Lawrence, who's had a very good game. He really didn't have too many options then, though. He had a look around. There was nothing upfield. He's kicked it out wide. Lester Smith and O'Brien. Close to the boundary. And a boundary throw in at right half forward for the Sharks. Just forward of right centre wing.
Herded it in, Trev, like a dog herding in sheep, wasn't he? Young O'Brien then.
Zempelis at the back of the back of Reed. EFrem trying to shovel it out. Cracker's there. Hammond pulls it across his body. Damon in front of Buss. No mark this time. Smallridge. Was he held but not in possession?
He was.
Ron Bairns right on the spot again. Smallridge with the free kick. Quiet first quarter. Has improved noticeably since then. 55 metres out. Penetrating drop punt. Might carry. No. Almost the mark to Hodgson. Lester Smith. That's holding the ball for mine. He's back in play. Kicks across the goals and Sadowski's taken the mark.
Well, West Perth really are standing up to this pressure that's being applied by EFrem very well. 15-14 to 12-8. The margin is 24 points in favour of the Falcons. Another chance for EFrem to go forward. Hammond has it. He kicks back to centre half forward. Taylor had to take the mark. He was outmanoeuvred, and away comes Palm. He's looking for someone to give it to. Run down by Cracker. It was Curse, I'm sorry, not Palm. This is Ryder. He gets it across to Buss. Buss looks to the half-forward line.
That's a terrible kick.
Oh, but Curse ran straight into Cracker, which allowed him to apply the tackle. Cracker has possession, gets it ahead of the play. Chance for Reed, who collided with Sadowski. Sadowski scrambles it out to Turley. Turley looks up towards centre wing, close to the line, out of play on the full.
Cracker's hurt.
And Craig looks a bit tired to me. Craig Turley, he's done a power of work.
There's Cracker.
Yeah, he's tired. No doubt about that. That little bit of spark will get out of his game in this quarter.
Deracourt kicks to centre half forward for EFrem. Someone has to find something for them. Reed is underneath it. He could have been penalised. Sadowski agrees with me.
It's a common sense decision again, though, for mine.
Listening to 6WF.
Bounce down, almost on the 50-metre line. Cracker with clean possession. Not able to get the ball away effectively. Another chance for EFrem. That was Taylor, who was bullied off it. Now Amirante. He gets it across to Hammond. The pass was stolen by Palm. West Perth playing with confidence. He puts the ball out in front of Hall. Browning is in pursuit. He won't quite get him. Good hand pass. He hand passed the ball away. There was little more Browning could do.
He was wide out in the open, Clint Browning.
Hasler off and Riggs on.
So more run for EFrem to contend with as Riggs comes on. The short kick was a terrible one. Ellis takes the mark. He's in the defensive 50-metre line and puts it on Amirante's chest. He's at right centre wing. Lester Smith out in front of his opponent, but they go longer than that looking for Reed. Sadowski up over the top, but West Perth standing firm again. Away they come with a series of hand passes. Reed puts it in short into the centre, and I think that's Curse again. He is a real curse to EFrem at the moment. He puts it out towards the members' flank. This is Howlett. Not a bad place for the ball to be in a tight situation for West Perth, because they'll get plenty of moral support or vocal support. Williams has it. Across the top he goes towards Damon. Damon read the bounce well. Hand passes through the oncoming traffic to give Mifka a chance. Webber gets to it first. Tries to hook it back to his own advantage, but Mifka was awake up to it. Rankin was taken high. The umpire arrives and elects to bounce it down.
Well, they're not travelling well enough, EFrem are at the 20-minute mark. About 10 minutes to go, might be less. And I don't think EFrem are going well enough to get up and win this. And it's been an outstanding performance so far by West Perth.
There's the bounce. Hazel. Stolen away though by Moyer. He kicks it straight to Williams. Well, East Fremantle don't look to be strong enough. They haven't got any run.
No focal point in attack.
No. And West Perth seem to be cruising now. This is Howlett. Plays on around Smallridge, the attacking side of the square. Wobbly looking torpedo, and it lands with Lockyer.
I think West Perth would see this, Travers, to get square stakes after last year.
Lockyer finds Rankin. 150 games today, but one I think he'd rather forget, Dave Rankin. He puts it to the members' wing. Up goes Palm. Oh, good pair of hands. Mark has been paid by umpire Garrett.
The Palms and the Damons have been in superb form, haven't they, today? They've set the strength standard.
Experience, Keith.
Strength, holding ground. Yeah, that's a good mark.
Damon. That pass from Palm has found Damon at right half forward. West Perth using the ball around the forward line. This has been
This is rubbing it in, Trev.
a handy contributor, Ken Casillas. Graham Curse.
He has indeed. That's his 20th kick. 6 marks, 20 kicks.
That was silly across the ground. Good interception from Lawrence. It was meant for Zempoulis. It bounced away from Rankin. Back comes Lawrence. Slaps it wide of the pack. Webber's in control. Gives it away to Amaranti. And Amaranti drives the Sharks out of defence. That was too much fiddling by West Perth. Now O'Brien and Lester Smith. O'Brien overruns it. Lester Smith's dangerous. He hasn't got too many options at the moment. Now he has a look. Kicks inside centre half forward. Taylor, no pressure. Chips over the top and hits the post.
I tell you what, he's a casual mover, isn't he, Michael Taylor? There's nothing quick about anything he does. He hangs onto the ball for a long time, and he almost does everything in slow motion. A very effective player, but he's got to do everything that much quicker if he's going to make it at top level.
81 plays 104 in favour of the Falcons.
Only 3 goals have been kicked so far in this final quarter. That's the total as Taylor puts the ball infield. Ryder has it, but he doesn't want it quickly. He can go short. Amaranti, they need a goal. They need it quickly. That's a good kick. Lester Smith, he couldn't hang on to it. He'll use it to his own advantage. And he's missed. Near the near post.
Yeah, I think they need Browning in the forward line now. I think they've got to get him up there because he can kick that important goal. He's done a pretty good job at centre half back, but they need someone up there. They haven't got him at the moment. Hans Bayer, I don't know whether he agrees with me or not.
I don't think he agrees with anybody.
I can assure they need him up there, Hans.
23 minutes gone. 22 points is the margin. There is still time for East Fremantle, but they've got to get a goal within the next minute or so. Short kick will land with Curse. Curse is at right half back. West Perth content to slow the game down. Lockyer coming over the top. Chance for Browning. He goes backward to the play to Rankin. Rankin sweeps the hand pass wide to Deracourt. Next possession is crucial. The next disposal. Hall has it. He threw the ball away. Comes to Williams. Ducked into the tackle, but has been awarded the free kick for a high tackle.
He's clever, Walt.
He's quick.
He's very clever. He sensed the tackle was coming, and down went the head. And Browning is quite often careless with his tackles. And that was another situation. There's Craig Turley, one of the best on the ground today.
Turley has it just outside 50 metres.
Coming in for his 18th kick, Wally.
He's going to put it. No, he's not. He's gone into the pocket looking for Madaffrey. Moyer got there in the nick of time. Browning has it. Over the top to Smallridge. Not a lot happening up front for Smallridge. Busses the target. It was a good kick. He just wasn't quite able to hang on. Palm. Infield. Terrible hand pass. It put Higgins under pressure. Zempoulis gets it to Yaron. Yaron got rid of it quickly. Turley. Not good. Higgins. Well tackled by Deracourt. Lawrence. Ryder. Cleverly done. Knocked it away from Curse. Squares it to Cracker. We're almost into time on in the final quarter. West Perth hanging on. And this is Taylor.
How casually did he take that?
Amaranti's loose. He can go. He should go. And he should go. He's got it. He took all the time that he had. But he's got that goal, and the margin now is 16 points. Still an enormous task in front of EFrem, but there's time. We're just into time on. They need 3 goals to win it.
And there's Amirandi. He's had a rotten day in defence, but he's come down to the middle of the ground as a running player in this last quarter. He's gathered. He would have doubled his aggregate of kicks, no doubt about that. He might have trebled his aggregate, but on that occasion, he's given EFrem a chance at winning the game. Swans away in front. Subi and EFrem, a pretty tight game there. Subi looks safe, and anything could happen. South and Claremont
lead by 7 points. They won their first encounter by 7 points against South. Mrs. Hall had a good game today. Put under pressure there. That landed with Rankin. Kicked the centre half forward. Ryder in the pack. Got a ride but couldn't take the mark. Coming away with it is EFrem towards full forward. Coming out to meet it is Hodgson. EFrem dying hard. That's offline. The left foot couldn't swing it around enough. One behind only. 15 points now in favour of West Perth. Into time on. The clock is the enemy now for EFrem.
Yes, and when you get tired, both sides are very tired now. What you need is possession, because it's very hard to chase and tackle when you're very tired.
Sadowski will put it back into play. You saw the scoreline. Turley's the target.
Oh, yes.
It's his 10th mark. Kick number 19 coming up.
And he ran 60 metres from the half-back line to offer that lead.
Yes, almost a mark. Good spoil by Smallridge. Paddles along the boundary. Into the path of Briggs, who scrambled a kick forward. Now Lockyer and Yarra, David and Goliath here. Lockyer got his kick in towards the middle of the ground, and the mark has been taken by Amirandi, who's come to life.
He has in this last quarter.
He's got a lead here, and a good pass to Reid. Reid almost on the point of the square. EFrem going forward. Lester Smith has called for it. It's wide of him. In the pocket is Hodgson, confronted by Sadowski. That's holding the ball. Play on, says umpire Garrett. Riggs hooks back to the half-back line, but Breed's in the way again. EFrem going down fighting. The Sharks on the hook. They won't lie down.
He's got no height in the forward line to kick to.
Williams to Higgins. This is Richard Higgins. He's got run from O'Brien. O'Brien, a little chip for Mifka. West Perth running out of defence. Mifka's going for a run to centre wing. Now he drives to half forward. The target is Hall. With him is Browning. Ellis the support. Madaffrey's there also. Ellis goes back looking for Browning. He knocks it on for Webber. Inboard for Moyer. Sharks rebound again as the kick goes to half forward. Taylor and Higgins. It's knocked away by Higgins. Over the line and out of bounds. Forward of right centre wing. West Perth supporters like that. 89 plays 104. 15 points. We'll see West Perth home in this match.
15 points the margin. 27 minutes gone.
Only 4 goals for the quarter. There won't be a lot of time on.
Zentler's up in front. Chance for West Perth at the back. Smallridge dispossessed his opponent. Cracker has it. Gets it to Smallridge. Back they go towards the goal square. Hobson in best place to mark, but the ball runs the wrong way once it had come off hands. It eluded Lester Smith and through for a point.
That was good defensive work by Sadowski.
Well, the whole side has lifted, haven't they? And I suppose you could almost say they haven't had any passengers since half-time, West Perth. Been one of those very good team performances.
Howlett offering the short lead, and certainly West Perth have done enough now. This is a significant upset. Good for the competition, great for West Perth. Disappointing for EFrem, of course. Still, they try and bulldoze the ball forward. And that, you could almost say, was put out of play deliberately.
Wonder if he'll convert.
By Graham Kearse. Lockyer arrives, gets the ball to the side of the pack. Ryder having trouble picking it up. Chance now for EFrem. Taylor's hand pass to Smallridge. Now it's with Lawrence. This is Buss from just inside 50 metres. That's a good kick. Hobson is back there. It's a goal. Well shepherded through by Hobson. And there's the siren. I'm not sure how the siren can go when the game's not in progress. Thought that was time on, but it doesn't matter. West Perth have scored a stunning upset over second-placed EFrem. The final score 15-14 to 14-12.
Well, the West Perth theme song,
Sing it if you know it,
resounds over the ground, and rightly so, because this has been a very good performance by the Falcons going into this match as underdogs. EFrem had won 4 straight, and now West Perth has burst their bubble with, there's the conductor. and they burst their bubble and have now won 3 in a row. And what a turnaround from the first game of the year when West Perth lost to East Fremantle by 86 points. So the Falcons have showed today that they're still in this competition, but also East Fremantle with plenty to offer. Let's look at the goal scorers from the game. Madaffrey booted 5. Nathan Higgins died a bit in the last quarter, but he played well. He kicked 3. Malcolm Williams, Derek Hall both 2. Zempelis, Curse and Yaron 1 apiece. West Perth riding high today. East Fremantle 2 apiece to Browning, Lawrence and Lamb, and singles to Cracker, Amaranti, Lester Smith, Buss, Reid, Lockyer, Taylor and Hodgson. Well, East Fremantle flags are still waving anyway, but a big crowd of people around the West Perth. The young and the old can join in here.
I think they'd won a premiership.
It's always a good feeling to beat East Fremantle. I know from when I was a small boy, you cheered loud and long when you beat East Fremantle.
You're not much bigger either.
I'm just a bigger kid, but not much, yeah. Let's look at other grounds as West Perth, triumphant in victory, leave the Leederville Oval, and George McCulloch will sleep a little easier tonight. He's proud, he loves his footy, and he's done something here at West Perth to turn them around from a very mediocre bunch at the start of the first round to giant killers today. Other scores, Swan Districts have beaten Perth. Subiaco should beat East Perth, and 8 points the difference in favour of Claremont. The leading kick getters on the ground from both sides. Ken, just briefly.
Craig Turley for West Perth, 10 marks, 19 kicks, 6 effective hand passes. Graham Curse in the centre for West Perth, 21 kicks. Smallridge, his opponent for East Fremantle, had 23. 18 to Mifka on his wing. Lockyer had 12, 17 to Hammond, 12 to Darren O'Brien and 12 to Hasler. They were both good performers in defence. The free kicks in the match, West Perth 22, East Fremantle 19.
And Ken Casellas, again our statistician today, with his best players. Here's Keith Slater.
Well, it was incredible. The first semi-final last year was a draw. The replay won by East Fremantle. And let's have a look. Craig Turley, a magnificent performance. Very slow to get moving today, but once he got it together...
That's the West Perth spelling of Turley.
Turlines, but Craig Turley, he did very well. Nathan Higgins till three-quarter time was West Perth's best player. David Palm, Wayne Damon, Paul Mifka. I mean, I could have put in Hall. I thought he played very well. I thought that Williams played very well. Madaffrey, Curse, all could have been in the best players for East Fremantle. Well, Cracker and Lockyer, I thought, were quite outstanding. Lawrence, a good performance by them, and as we go down through it. But from quarter time, East Fremantle at quarter time led 6-4 to 3-3, Trev. In the last 3 quarters, West Perth kicked 12-11 to 8-8. And I thought it was a very good team performance because it was a stage in the first quarter where they had a lot of players down on form, but they came back strongly. A magnificent team effort from quarter time, and players lifted all around the ground, notably Damon, Palm, Mifka, who'd been well down, and Turley himself in the first quarter. But an outstanding performance by West Perth. They've won 3 in a row. It looked like being a bad season for them, but they're now back in very big business, and we have a wonderful competition for us, and this is as good a game as I've seen for the season.
Thanks a lot, Keith Slater, and to Ken Casellas and Wally Foreman. Keep in mind, tomorrow on ABC Radio we'll be covering the big match, West Coast Eagle and the Brisbane Bears. West Perth running out winners here at Leederville Oval this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed